Hi, everyone. I think now we'll get started. So first, I just want to introduce myself. My name is James. I'm a sales engineer here at Lightspeed. I also am happy to have RP here, head of communications at UEAT, to talk to me about, pivoting to delivery during these difficult times. We want this to be an engaging session for everyone. So if you do have questions or comments, please feel free to add them to the question box you might see on your right-hand side, and we'll try to address as many as we can towards the end of the presentation. As well, this will be recorded and shared with everyone if you ever want to rewatch it or if you have to hop off at any point. Okay, let's get started. So why is Lightspeed hosting this session? Well, from day one, Lightspeed has always been about helping the SMBs of the world. As our CEO Dax said, Lightspeed's mission is to bring cities and communities together by powering independent businesses. And this rings extra true right now with everything going on in the world. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to RP to tell us a little bit more about delivery and how this can help your business.
Yeah, well, thanks, James. So hi, folks. My name is RP. I'm the head of communications at UEAT. And UEAT, we provide innovative white label ordering solutions for restaurant owners from all over the world. And our mission, pretty simply, is to increase revenue, optimize the operations, and also foster customer loyalty. So I'm thrilled to be here to discuss specifically how you can leverage online ordering and delivery. But before we dive into delivery, let's quickly talk about online ordering as a whole, but online ordering on your own website. So specifically, there's a lot of main benefits about using online ordering. And with the current crisis, well, obviously with the current crisis, things are rapidly changing. If I can just give a quick example, in the province of Quebec, recently the government announced that on Sundays, every single business will be closed except gas stations and restaurants who offer takeout and delivery. So if you're looking for a good time to jump on board online ordering, I think you got it right here. And keep in mind that if you do have online ordering right now, there's a key benefit specifically for COVID-19, and that's the fact that you can order ahead. So your customers can go through your platform and they will actually pay online. So if they do show up to your restaurant, there's no need to fumble with cash. And it's the same thing for delivery as well. And keep in mind, this other benefit was always the case before the entire crisis started, but having online ordering, it is proven that the average order will go up from 20 to all the way to 40%. There's a lot of different reasons why this increase has been seen right now, but if we go back to the example earlier about the province of Quebec closing every business on Sundays, including groceries, we're seeing that on Sunday, this is probably some of the busiest day for some of our customers. And I don't know, James, if I told you this before, but on last Sunday, some of our customers had their best day yet. And that was the first week that the grocery stores were closed on Sunday. So this coming Sunday, it's Easter. So imagine that. We're pretty sure we're going to beat that, right? And also keep in mind that the fact that your online ordering platform can accept orders 24/7, it's like your restaurants never sleep, right? So when you do show up to your restaurant in the morning, you already have a couple orders already in the queue. So your day's just getting started and you already have orders. There's no need for your customers to wait for the line to open up. And the fact that you have your own online ordering, that means you have this connection with your customers. You're in charge of your brand, your colors, your experience. And we've seen that there's a huge increase in customer loyalty if they feel like they're using your own solution that way. So these are some of the main benefits of online ordering, but usually the top questions that we get is it possible for me to integrate delivery on my own platform? And the answer is yes. There's multiple options. So I'm going to walk you through some of these options that are available to you on your own website. And the first one right here is third-party delivery. So if you're in the market for an online ordering provider, some of them are going to be offering third-party integration. And what I mean by that is that a customer will go through your website, they'll order through your platform, and the very last step when they pick delivery, your system will call a third-party marketplace driver to pick up your food, such as DoorDash or Skip Dishes or Uber Eats or whatnot. But the main benefit here is that since it's on your platform, this is available at a fixed rate, regardless of the order amount. So myself, if I order $200 worth of sushi, why not? It's going to be the same price, right? So this is great for you. This is great for your customers. And again, it's on your website. And we've seen some of our customers are also using local delivery providers. So besides marketplaces, there's also delivery providers who may be used to deliver medical supplies or flowers or courrier. Well, you could actually partner with them. And let's say from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. or whatever your rush is, pretty much you could partner with them during this current crisis and have them deliver your food that way. So it's like this other type of third-party marketplace, right? And specifically, some of the main benefits of having third-party, well, it's already a given. Number one, it's cheaper and it's quite quick to set up, but also there's no need for you to buy your own fleet of cars or even buy car insurance since you're partnering with someone who currently does all that for you. So that's the first option. So third-party delivery on your website, yes, it is possible, but there's also the second option, which is also pretty popular right now, is the in-house delivery. So right now, it's a tough time for many restaurant owners and operators because unfortunately, they have to let their staff go in this difficult time. Well, we've seen some of our customers, they're relocating their current staff to delivery roles. So some customers, some people from your staff, maybe they're going to be relocated to delivery role, and that will allow you to offer your own in-house delivery. That's something that's been done, and that we've seen tremendous success that way. And if you do offer in-house delivery, make sure you do create delivery zones, and each of them can have their own delivery fees, lead time, and minimum amount. So you can have like different delivery zones in the same for each of your restaurants, pretty much. But if you do want to offer in-house delivery, there's a few guidelines that you need to make sure that you follow. And number one, it's a given right now, it's aimed for a contactless delivery service. So a contactless delivery service, again, it goes back to one of the benefits we shared earlier about online ordering as a whole, but payment has already been paid for. So once the customer shows up on your website, they go through the process, they pay. When the delivery driver does show up, they only need to knock on the door, leave the package on the front porch, and then they're free to go, right? With that said, though, we've seen some customers who really prefer paying delivery driver. And in that case, just make sure that the driver holds the payment terminal at all time. And why not focus on using PayPass? That's a great way to make sure that everyone is safe, right, at that time. And a great way to recap the main benefit of offering your in-house delivery, it goes hand in hand with your own white label online ordering solution, is that you will control every step of your customer journey, from going to your website, picking your food, paying, and then getting your food delivered. You're going to be responsible for the entire journey. And again, if you're doing a fantastic job, trust me, your customers will come back for more because they know that they went through your platform, your delivery provider, and it's a given right here. And that's the second option. Third option is probably the easiest to set up because it can actually replace takeout. So we call that, it's curbside delivery. We've seen many of our customers using that from day one. It's quite easy to set up. It's a matter of minutes. And the way it works is that your customers go through the ordering process, and instead of going inside, they do show up to your restaurant in their car. They either call you or text you, and they just say like, "Hi, I'm RP, I'm here to pick up my food." And for the restaurant, you have one employee who will walk up to the car, hand over the food. Pretty straightforward process. But again, we've seen great success. If you're not using curbside delivery yet, definitely think about it, because again, it doesn't require that much add on to your current offering. Pretty much just replace takeout with curbside delivery. So how does it work specifically? Where there's a few guidelines. Again, well, I'm pretty sure you agree with that, Jason. It's a given. Just wash your hands after each delivery. But also, the feedback that we've got from our customers is that they decided that the interior of the restaurant is off limits to anyone that's not an employee. So that's a great way to make sure that you maintain safe sanitary measures, since the only people inside are going to be employees, and again, they're going to be washing their hands after each delivery. So a great way to recap, these are the 3 different delivery options that are available to you. You can either choose one of them, or meaning why not choose multiple options. The goal is to pretty much make sure that you do offer delivery, because again, it goes back to, we don't even know how many weeks, how many months this entire crisis is going to last. So make sure that you do think about offering delivery, multiple options right here with different recap next to it. But before moving on, I just want to share a few tips from some of our customers, and the tips I'd love to share with them, because we've seen how easy it is to set it up, and the overwhelmingly positive feedback that we've got. I decided why not share it with other restaurateurs from all over the world. So how to make the most of your online ordering? Well, number one, think about promoting prepared meals. It's a tough time. Schools are closed, daycare are closed, and people are working from home, and usually even going to the groceries can be stressful. So think about promoting prepared meals, like we're seeing right now on screen: lasagnas, pizzas, spaghetti sauce. That's a great way to incentivize your customers to order through your platform. And also lunch boxes, like a meal in the box, is a great way that you should easily add it to your online ordering offerings. And also, if it's feasible, think about offering multiple meals options, like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Trust me, people are hungry, and they're going to be ordering if you do offer it. Also, think about promotions. So Naples Pizza right here, as you can see, the first thing that pops up on screen when you show up on their online ordering platform is, thanks for your support. Here's a coupon for 20% off. It's a great incentive for people to order online. And the second one, it's pretty crucial right here, because the second one is one of the other benefit of having your own online ordering platform, is that you have this connection with your customers, and you also have the data from your customers. So you know who your most loyal customers are. And in this case, you can actually ask them for their support, either by a newsletter, like a quick email, or on social media. Like going through on social media, it can be like, folks, this is a tough time for us. If you could order from our platform, we'd be really grateful. It's a tough time for us. If you're, the more human, the better. If you're talking from the heart, trust me, people are going to be going through your platform. If they enjoy your food, if they like you and your brand will come back for more. And also think about offering a cocooning special, so you can always find a funny name to take a closer look at the current situation. People are stuck inside, so why not make it funny? So can always find a funny name for a promotion right here. And the last tip, if you do think of offering delivery, maybe think about expanding your delivery zones. Maybe previously you used to only deliver in a certain radius, a few kilometers or a few miles around your restaurant. Well, think about expanding that. And why not think about offering a discount or even free delivery at that time? This is, again, a great way for you to bring back your customers for more. And this is great tips for you to pretty much save your business in this time.
Awesome, thanks, RP. Actually, you brought up some really good points and things I've started to notice myself. One of my favorite restaurants just around the corner from where I live in Toronto is now starting to actually offer kind of like build your own meal kits for some of their most popular items. And I think this is a great idea. And it's something that probably a lot of restaurants here could take advantage of. So if you have maybe like a special sauce or a special dish, people don't always have those ingredients in their house, or maybe they don't want to necessarily buy an entire, case or of that entire ingredient. So if you can offer those in, the specific amounts you need to make 1, 2, 4, however many portions, it goes a long way, and it allows people to still enjoy those items, but feel like they're, still cooking, which I think a lot of people are trying to do at the same time. So it's definitely a unique opportunity to take advantage of.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, let's maybe shift gears a little bit now, and let's start looking at what can we do to leverage our online presence to help, increase the public perception and drive more business to us online. Because obviously right now business can't physically come to you, or it's a little more challenging than it has been in the past. So, where are some of the places that your customers are reviewing your business? Well, some of the most common ones are going to be obvious. There's things like Google, Facebook, Yelp, and TripAdvisor, but you can see there's 10 different ones listed here. It really depends on where you're located, which can be the most popular. But again, I think everyone's somewhat familiar with this, but here's a kind of a little more extended list. Okay, so now we know where customers are leaving these reviews, but how can we ensure that customers are actually giving us feedback? Well, the first thing we want to do is make sure that we're easy to find. And this means registering our businesses for some of these platforms that we just mentioned. And we want to ensure that all the information that we do have on those platforms is as accurate as possible. You know, if your business hours have changed, if your phone number, if your email, if you added additional things to cope with some of these more online operations now, make sure that this is accurate in Google or whatever platform you're using, because the last thing a customer wants to do is, you know, place an order or communicate with you and the information is incorrect. So, okay, we've now registered for the various platforms. We've ensured that all this information is correct, but how are customers going to know to review? You know, the truth is that customers are going to just do this naturally. By now, you know, reviewing businesses is definitely, or even checking reviews is part of our day-to-day life, but you can always get more reviews and hopefully more positive reviews by simply asking your customers. There's a various different manners of asking for these. The least intrusive way is probably email, but as you can see on the screen now, emails tend to have a lower open rate, which is, again, not ideal. Something that's becoming more popular now is SMS or text messages. But one of the downsides with this is that some people can view this as maybe crossing a personal boundary. So if you are using it, which is, again, a very powerful tool and can be well received, we want to make sure that we're sending this to the right customers, and we're also using it sparingly, just again, so we don't kind of cross that boundary of professional and personal. Okay, so now we have the reviews rolling in, which is awesome. Now we need to make sure that we're actually communicating and listening to our customers, and how are we going to do that? The first thing is engaging and responding to those reviews. So especially if they're negative, we want to go onto Google or whatever platform you're using, and simply answer them. If there's a bad review, try to respond to it. Maybe try to contact that customer directly, whatever the case is, but respond to those reviews, positive or negative. But also use social media as a way to have customers share their opinion of you, and that could be through your own posts and people commenting on it, or maybe you commenting on other people's posts, or even just direct messages. Again, additional lines of communication are only going to help you understand maybe some of your issues, but also what's really resonating with customers. Like I was just mentioning before, try to own up to mistakes. RP was just mentioning how this is a very difficult time, and everyone in some way is being affected by it. People are human. They understand that this is a challenging time. So we want to make sure that we, again, understand what the customer is going through, try to rectify the situation, whether that be, maybe a discount, some kind of, replacing the order, giving them promotion for a future order, whatever the case is. Keep in mind, again, the customer is always right, and we want to make sure that they're happy, so that they're going to come back again in the future and place another order. Another way that's being, I think, adopted more and more now, and it has a really positive impact on customers, is trying to include a handwritten note. And you can write a whole stack of these at the beginning of your shift, or on the weekend, or whenever you have some time, and basically just having a little note that says, thanks for supporting us in this time, or whatever you feel is personal. Just throwing one of those in the bag where a customer picks up, I think it's going to go a long way and really show those customers how much you appreciate their business during these tough times. So now we've looked over reviews, we've collected them, and we've incentivized and encouraged customers. And now you might start to notice some themes, hopefully both positive and negative. And for the negative ones, what we want to try to do now is really back this up with some additional information and data, so we can start tracking our progress. So again, we're not necessarily just going to be flying blindly. A lot of people really have a good a gut feeling as to what's going on, what's working, what's not working. But having data is just going to ensure that those gut feelings are actually fact checked. So some key data I think that's worth keeping track of is, what's the ratio between positive and negative reviews? If it's 50-50, it's not obviously so ideal. We want to work on that. What are the percentage of your orders? So how many do you have to unfortunately reject? Maybe because you're not open, you don't have those items, whatever the case is, keeping track of that. Also, with respect to items, how many items or how many orders have incorrect items, were sent out with, again, messed up with the customization, whatever the case is. Want to make sure that those are as accurate as possible. What's your average delivery time, and what's your average time to actually accept the order and send it to the kitchen? All those things, the more efficient they are going to lead to a more positive customer experience, and that will be reflected online. So how else can we ensure that our customers are happy and leaving you positive reviews? And this is the last thing I'm going to leave everyone with. And it's, again, think about the customer and what will give them the best experience. This might include things like, when you're looking at your menu or what you're offering, make sure these are items that travel well. I know we've all been there where, it's an item or a dish that we thought was going to be, exactly like it was in the restaurant, but because of the packaging, maybe it gets soggy, or whatever the case is, not everything travels well. So keep that in mind when you're deciding what items to offer online. Provide pictures. Again, we want to ensure that the customer is going to get exactly what they think it is. So if you have a really expansive menu, or if there's things that are maybe not quite clear or familiar with everyone, having a picture eliminates all that confusion. Also allowing for customization, whether it be having things on the side or adding or removing toppings, ensures that the customer is going to get exactly what they want. RP was also mentioning about the delivery zones. So you want to make sure that your delivery zone is realistic. I think at this time, considering that, again, there's so fewer cars on the roads, we can extend our delivery zone a little bit bigger than it used to be because of that lack of traffic, but we don't want to go too much so that by the time the food gets to the customer, it's cold or not as appetizing. And the last one here, a little bit of a twist, but think about the packaging that you're actually sending to these customers. In 2020 and for the past number of years, customers have been trending towards eco-friendly options, and this is also now being reflected in the packaging. So maybe trying to have more biodegradable packaging. Ask customers if they actually need utensils, things that might be just disposed of. Anything that we can kind of do to reduce our ecological footprint is going to go a long way as well. So with that being said, that wraps up our presentation for today. We're more than happy to answer any questions. I'm not sure if we've seen too many pop in the chat, but just to mention again, there is a questions box in the bottom right side of your screen. Feel free to type in any questions you might have, and we're more than happy to answer them. I think we had a couple actually come in a little bit earlier over email. And maybe RP, I'll throw the first one to you. A lot of people are asking, do I need to actually hire extra staff to implement in-house delivery?
It's a good question. Well, specifically, it's a tough time for every restaurateur right now. Like I said earlier, if you can relocate your current staff, that's a great way. Or even have them part-time. That's also a given. Hiring in this difficult time can be extra challenging because it's another pressure on you. So usually we recommend that maybe think about relocating your current staff or going with part-time drivers in this case for now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another question we had was, how can I let my customers know that I'm offering curbside delivery? At least in my personal experience, I've really started to see people using social media. And if you already maybe have an email list or any kind of method to communicate with your customers, if you already have those on hand, this is a perfect channel to use them. Posting things on social media, people are probably also going to send you messages, maybe even repost it if it's one of their favorite restaurants. So, social media is a great channel right now to be taking advantage of. And if you're not on social media, this is the perfect time. Typically for restaurants, so busy with everything going on, and we're hopefully still busy right now with the focus on takeout and delivery. But if you do have some of those spare moments, try using it to again expand your reach, signing up for those different platforms for review, signing up for social media, just so that again your brand is kind of top of mind and not necessarily being forgotten.
We also have another question here. Are you seeing more curbside business during the virus or just an upward trend? That's a good question as well. Obviously, since the virus started, this is a huge trend right now because it's a way to keep everyone safe. But this trend is pretty popular in the US. I don't know if you agree, James, but usually in the US, we've seen curbside delivery getting a lot more traction than it does anywhere else in the world. But for now, with the COVID-19, it's definitely something that goes back right now in Canada and pretty much every part of the world.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's one more question here about personalizing the delivery experience, which I think you kind of just touched upon. But maybe the last point we'll leave here is, if you have any kind of like stickers or maybe even a stamp that you can just, stamp onto a paper bag or whatever the case is, or if there's maybe a local print shop that you can help also in this business, just getting a little flyer or business card that you can, again, staple to your your delivery bag, well, again, kind of personalize it and make sure that the customers know exactly where it's coming from. And again, it's always try to be.
But the note that you said earlier, I think that's probably the best way. It makes you more human, relatable. I think let's go for that for sure.
Yeah, great point. I think that's everything for us today. Again, for those of you who joined late or had to jump off early, this will be recorded and shared with everyone. But thanks so much for attending our webinar today, and stay safe.
Thanks, everyone.